Hello, good afternoon, YouTube. It is High Priestess Jamila. I am done doing readings for today. You guys, those readings have been so difficult because so many people have been having such a hard time with love because of patriarchy. I hate patriarchy. I hate it. um, where do I start with this one? First of all, welcome to the channel. I am a high priestess witch that also knows healing magic, healing, not just magic, but healing, real healing, you know. So, my schedule, I do have a couple of spots on my schedule today if you guys want to reach me. Um, I want to talk about the reason why women stop dealing with men. And I've seen women stop dealing with men for a very long time. And see, if you're a male and you're listening to this as a man, instead of you making things difficult, what needs to happen is that you need to listen and stop trying to make it what you want it to be and not what it really is. Okay. So I couldn't do any more readings because there's a struggle that is going on between men and women. And for some reason, as a Black woman, this is going to be very different. Okay, the experience is going to be very different because there have been a lot of Black women that have walked away from men, okay, because of their tendency to treat us like we're stupid. Let's just put it like that. Let's put it in layman's terms. treat us like we're stupid, treat us like we're incapable. And the current status quo globally is to oppress melanated women. Um, I still haven't figured out why one side is so hurt to see black women get anywhere in life. It's still, I still don't have an understanding of it, because for me, I like to see people doing good in life. I like to be around people that are doing good in life. If somebody starts a business and that business is so successful that eventually they buy a house, they have their financial freedom, I love it. There are some people, unfortunately, that are trained and programmed, in particular males. And I don't exactly know what the obsession with having a woman in your life that doesn't have it together. I hope that it's not connected to pedophilia. I kind of think that it is. Because, what is your problem with dealing with a woman that is sure about herself and knows what she's doing and has set out the blueprint for her life and is moving forward? What is the problem? Is it a daddy daughter complex? Is it a daddy complex? And if you are a man and you have that daddy complex when you're out here dating, you got to understand that that's a turnoff. So a woman will cut you loose for doing that. Women are very capable, and I was going to say it's not like it was back in the day, which women didn't like it. A lot of women didn't like being subservient and codependent on a man. A lot of women did not like that, especially when it came to their personal health and their value system, of which is related to self. I will never understand, and this is not, because some men like to try to, it's like they try to treat you as if it's a parent child relationship. And personally, if it's a parent should always believe in and trust their children. This is a common thing, but a romantic love relationship has nothing to do with you wanting to be her daddy, has nothing to do with her being your daughter. It has nothing to do with her feeling the need to be um, subservient on you. There were never any times that was like that. When they flipped it around and twisted it and made it like that, it was a very dark history for women. Women don't like it. We don't really like to be reminded of it. I don't know what this obsession is with a woman that doesn't have it together for herself. There's an obsession with that type of woman. That's not a woman, that's a child. That's a child. And when it comes to being a woman, you have to put your big girl panties on. I put on as a woman personally, I put on my big girl panties that was about 3 or 4 sizes bigger than me. And there is not a damn thing wrong with that. And I think that men, I don't care if you were programmed that way. You need to reprogram yourself, because this is damaging to the spirit and it causes nothing but poverty. This is the reason why poverty affects so many black people. This is the reason why. Because of patriarchy. Because of the oppression of the woman. And for me, I'll leave you alone if you're a man. If you don't believe in me, my spirits take that very seriously. I am very different than the average female because I am a high priestess. It took me years to cult to actually grow into the woman that I'm supposed to be. but I'm constantly feeling oppressed by the male gender, to be a little kid, to be incapable, to not have it together, and this is what I want to tell y'all. What's up, Orion's daughter? How you doing? Listen, I don't ask men for money. And I cannot stand it when, if you are a woman, as soon as a woman opens up her mouth and judges another woman and what she's doing, by which saying things like, is that man paying your bills? Is that man doing that and that? Well, maybe he can't. Maybe that's not what's meant to be. Maybe it's meant for me to pay my bills by myself. Maybe it's meant for you as a woman to buy a house by yourself. Maybe that's what it's meant. Maybe that's what your ancestors are pushing you towards. Who knows? It's going to be an individual choice of yourself. But the point is that why are men constantly trying to create struggle in the minds of women? It makes no sense, to the point where there is this forced energy of the opposite of what you're manifesting. It's and especially if you are an entrepreneur type, I feel like there needs to be a book written with specific instructions and warnings for men that are dealing with women that are very goal oriented. That way there doesn't have to be a fight, there doesn't have to be a struggle. You don't have to, you know, go backwards as a man. You don't have to do that. It has nothing to do with you. And listen, this is how I roll. If I ain't married to you, if I'm not married to you, because marriage and dating someone is two different things. And see, I've noticed the dynamic on YouTube, and this is where I'm very different. And this is not a negative thing. I'm not roasting anybody, but I noticed this dynamic on YouTube to where there's this game to where, what a woman can get out of a man. What the fuck can she get out of herself? That is what I'm interested in. We've already explored that arena. We all know that we can get men to, and men will co-sign for you, men will do, and that's beautiful, that's wonderful. But this is what I want to say. I'm not going to share financial responsibility with everybody. Okay, that's just like some of my exes. There would be no way that I would be dependent on them for a dime. And there is nothing wrong with that. And it's not a bad thing. Why does it even need to be a discussion? But what you see is the dynamic of women in social media or out of social media. They just met this guy a week ago and they asking him for money. That is very intimate to me. A man giving me money, that is very, very intimate. And I am opening up a dialogue of trust. So for me, I'm not gonna meet you next week. And I've noticed men doing that. Oh, can you send me some money? Okay. Men will do that too. You should not, as a woman or a man, be asking a man that you just met a week ago, that you ain't even met this man. Y'all ain't met. Y'all ain't had sex. Ain't nothing happened. And I'm supposed to be dependent. And so that, I think that that's where a lot of that energy comes from, because for me, I don't ask people online for money. Not saying that I'm degrading the people that do. People that do that possibly have a totally different position and attitude towards life. As a woman, if I'm not married to you, if we don't live together, we don't share bills together, I don't have to tell you what I have. I don't have to tell you about my life savings. I don't need to go and tell you as a man, hey, look, don't worry about my finances. I got money saved up. I don't have to tell you that. I don't have to tell you how often I get paid. I don't have to do that as a woman. What difference does it make? That I mean, and see, this is how you complicate things where they don't need to be complicated. I think that a lot of these men out here are overthinking things. They're allowing other men to put ideas in their head. Hey, look, and I had to look. I had to say, sorry about this. As a woman, if you have been paying your bills for years, it doesn't matter if you're on Section 8. I mean, the way that these men go, if you are on Section 8, men will keep you on it. You'll never buy a house because they automatically think there's a lot of people with a limited belief, especially when it comes to women. The belief system in women is very limited. Now, this is Mama Lakshmi talking and Vishnu right now. There is a limited belief system when it comes to women to where if you as a woman don't have the things that you want right in that moment, it's like, oh well, and for me personally, if you don't understand me when I'm broke, if you didn't understand me, how you gonna ever understand me when I do have something? Because every woman, man, and child has the capability of creating and manifesting, whether or not it takes 3 months or 3 years. If you are a woman that has been oppressed your entire life, it is going to take you about 3 to 5 years. This is why we have taught each other to set these goals in advance and look at where you plan to be 5 years from now. With the negativity and men treating us like we are incapable. And this is an energy. First of all, I have people from all over this fucking world that will come to me and pay me thousands of dollars to do work for them. So trust and believe I don't worry about money in that capacity. If that person were to ever ask me and say, is this going to work? Is it really going to work? I'm going to tell them to come back later. I'm going to tell them, do not send me your money because I don't need it. I don't need the energy. I do not do work for people that don't believe in what I do for them. Those are the most frustrating clients ever because they've got way too much self-doubt. They've got doubt in you. So then why are you sending me your money? Don't do it because that's the energy you're going to send me with whatever you give me. And I run a faith-based business. Most men that might currently be dating me or dating me in the past, they don't want to hear any of this. And you know what? I don't want them to hear it. I don't want to hear nothing you got to say. I don't want to hear nothing you got to say. And if you don't want to hear anything that I say, and if you don't respect my mind and my body and my spirit as a woman, I don't want nothing to do with you. And this is the reason why women will walk away. I was freaking 25 years old with 3 children. 3. And I had to make it on my own. And it's not that I'm bitter. I'm not bitter about it. I wasn't bitter then. But see, men have this program, and this comes from patriarchy and religion. Oh, if it doesn't work out with the baby daddy or your husband, oh, well, you gonna struggle and you gonna. No, that's not true. The only way you're gonna struggle is if you have that in your head. That's a subconscious thought process. And this is and I love men. I do. I love everything about them. But if that's what you have in your loins and in your mind, then I won't want to touch you because this is a problem. This is how men can affect women energetically. And that's not right because you're only thinking that she's incapable because of her sex, her gender. And then also some of y'all men with that Christian male spirit that says, well, if the said woman doesn't cower down underneath the man, then you must dash her several times in her breast with a knife and a gun and a rock. If the woman is not exactly what you want her to be, kill her. This is the filth that most men have been taught, and it makes me want to throw salt water in your eyeballs. It's not gonna burn because if you put a little bit of salt in warm tap, not either tap, either warm tap water, or you warm up some spring water or some purified water and put it in your eyes, it'll clean them out. Like a little half a tablespoon. You don't want a half a teaspoon. Thank you. Okay, Princess Cass is right there with me, so we are there together, sister. Section 8 is a housing program ran by the government that will help you with a portion of your rent. It's a beautiful program. It's an excellent program for women to get back on your feet. It was supposed to, but it was corrupted by patriarchy. It was corrupted by certain men. I told you guys that I just went through this with my landlord. I'm coming out of it in 6 days, 5 days. I'm out. I'm going to learn as much as I can from the experience, probably like the day before, probably in about 4 days. But a lot of times those things can be used to keep you down. If you're on any government program, you got to grow. You got to grow. Otherwise, you're stuck. And for me, I had a plan, and I get tired of explaining it to people. The reason why I even revealed to the public that I was getting that assistance is so that I could uplift anybody that was dealing with it. Okay, now that program does not allow you to sit around and not work. Have a job. You're going to have a job anyway, because just because somebody's helping you with your rent doesn't mean that the rest of your bills are going to be paid. But yes, it does help. But a lot of these women, they want to buy houses. They want to move on. They want to start to manifest, okay? They may have been with a man from the time they were in their teens or 20s. They may have had a couple of children. The man did not do a damn thing to help. Hell, if you men were on your P's and Q's while the woman was raising those children, she would have never had to have been on that program. So having compassion and understanding. When I first became single with children, I was recovering from an abusive relationship, a physically abusive relationship, which took a lot of deep healing. So I would never dare. I stand firmly in my power and who I am. I don't give a damn if you a man, woman, or a child and you judge me. You don't know my journey. You don't know my struggle. You don't know what the hell I've been through. And if you think it's funny, well, guess what? I think it's funny that you never even got the struggle. You never even tried. There are some people that will laugh at you and say, but you know what? Let me tell you something. Focus on your goal. You cannot have that energy around. That pushes away manifestation. If you are a business owner, you cannot have a man around you that is the complete opposite of prosperity and abundance, and somebody that is blocking shit out and being codependent. You can't have that energy. It's frustrating. And to be honest with you, I'm going to tell y'all a story. First of all, every single spell, everything that I do works. So I take an insult when somebody tells me, well, I don't believe you. Well, then you can get the fuck off of my phone then. I get upset even if clients do that. I don't cuss them out. But I do tell them, hey, where do you think you're at? You think you at a circus? You think you at a government building? You think you at school? You're not at school. You're in the house of a high priestess. You're talking to a high priestess. So I had a client, right, that I did some work for her. She had all this self-doubt. She had doubt in me. I did the work because hell, I needed the money. You know what I'm saying? And this client, I had to coach her extra time. I had to coach her. Okay, now what she wanted manifested, and it was more than what she could have ever asked for or dreamed for. And she came back to me crying, and she said, I am so sorry that I didn't believe in you, because I had to go back and forth with her for a while. Me and her even got into a couple of arguments. I said the reason why it is not manifested is because you doubt what you've done. Why would you come and pay me? This woman paid me, she paid for over $2,500 in spell work within a span of 3 months. And she still didn't believe in what she was doing. So then why are you paying me $2,500? Why would you do that? But when she finally let go of the self-doubt, everything manifested at about the end of the 90 days. And I always tell people, they say, how long is it going to take for the spell to work, Jamila? And I'll say it can start working immediately, but depending on you. And if you have any negative subconscious blockages, and then also some people, she paid for a cleanse and everything, but it was still hard to get through to her. It took 90 days. It took the maximum time for it to manifest. Okay. And when it did, she called me. She said, oh my God, Jamila. I was like, what? She said, oh my God, I just got offered a position paying blah, blah, blah. This is changing my life. Like, she was like, is this real? She asked me, she said, is it real? That's why I played that song. Yes, it's real. Go enjoy it. So then she said, okay, I need a cleanse. I need a healing for all of these years and years of self-doubt. So she paid me even more to do a healing. And it worked, of course, because at that point, she couldn't even believe it. She was still stuck. It almost made her not even be able to get up and go to work that Monday. She said, I can't believe that this happened for me. She still couldn't believe it. So as a practitioner, that's one of my things. You have to believe in me. Most of the people that come to me, about 99% of my clients believe in me. I always have a problem child. I always do. I call them my problem children. Oh, I broke through. I did. And she still contacts me to this day with updates. She tells me how things are going. She paid me for love work because somebody had took her man with witchcraft. So she paid me for love work. And a lot of men, y'all got to understand that all men don't have that problem. If you are a man, and this is the reason why I left my ex, if you are a man and you are doing anything in hindering prosperity and abundance and financial security for your mate, you are not only blocking her, but you're blocking yourself. You're blocking out all of the blessings. And when she sees that you're blocking it, she's going to block you. And all men don't have that problem. Some men have different problems. Different men come in with a different set of problems. But they're all bred and born in patriarchy. And it's sad because us as men and women, we can't just lay there and make love to each other. We can't do that because men are wrapped up in, what am I supposed to do as a man? And what is she supposed to be doing? Who told you that? Who taught you this? Who taught you this? My goodness. It's so harmful for manifestation. It blocks the solar plexus. It blocks things out. Why are men still doing this? And women do it too. I'm not saying that women don't do it too. But more than likely, it's a man doing it. So, and I was actually talking about this for the Scorpio reading, how there are some men, even your fathers, they'll feel like this. Well, hell, if I didn't provide it for you, then you can't have it. That's what my ex told me. And I ain't seen him in over 10 years. And he's still wandering around aimlessly. And he's still codependent on a woman. So he tried to ruin me because he didn't want to be codependent on a woman. But now, ironically, he's codependent on a woman and very unhappy. So, and men will sit around. This is what's sad. Men will sit around for hours and gossip about a woman that picked herself up and said, hey, regardless, I'm going to be good. Okay, I got this. I got this for myself. Let me do this for myself. So then women have to be faced with, well, I can't even deal with a man that doesn't even have the capability of doing it, because if he feels that he doesn't, and he is doing it just by supporting you, just by being there for you. Just like there's a lot of women that are there for their husbands while they're in college. It's the same difference. Work together, work with each other. Those energies are not supposed to block each other. You're supposed to work together. As a man, you don't have to necessarily do every damn thing. Who told you that? That must have been a demon. That was the devil. That's the devil telling you that. I don't even think the Bible even tells you that. It probably does, though. Because I tell Christian men all the time, well, if you're a Christian, 9 times out of 10, you probably worshiping the devil. I let them know late but straight. And what that is, and so this is when men start to say, well, I don't want to see you do better without me, because now I'm scared you're going to leave me. What? And so then they'll self-destruct and destroy the entire relationship based upon what some other man that said that don't even have nothing in comparison to what she got. You know how many women out here have more? They are worth more financially than men. And the only way you're going to be a better person as a man is if you stop. As a man, if you walk, you don't even have to have a woman in your life. But if you walk around automatically thinking that as a man, you should automatically have more than the woman, you won't have nothing. And most men that think that way don't have nothing. Most of you, we're not talking about men that are on the big screen. We're not talking about the gods. We're not talking about them. You don't even know them personally. You see these men running around here, they have a lot of money, but you don't even know how they got to where they got to. So you're just assuming. So most men are broke. Most of them are broke. Besides the 5 or 10% or maybe even 20%. And I'm talking about broke in a sense where it's limited, they don't grow, and they wonder why they're still living with their mothers, why they're still codependent on a woman, why you're running around here feeling the need to degrade a woman just so that you can feel better about yourself as a man, instead of developing your skills. Number one, your social skills, because whoever sent you out in the world with that attitude knew that you would not make it. As a man, you will never make it in this world if you keep undermining women. First of all, the fact that you're doing it and the sheer energy behind it keeps you in chains as a man. It does nothing for you. Nothing. And so then you say, well, if it can't be that, then I'm just going to self-destruct. Well, then you're a fool. And you're not making any sense. So a lot of them will do that. And I'm telling you what I know. And it's just a self-destructive pattern. So as a Black woman, I have to deal with 90% of the African American men that walk on American soil having a self-destructive attitude, teaching self-destruction to their children, teaching self-destruction to everybody around them. That's a social construct. It's not real. What does it have to do with reality? What if every single mother said, oh, well, I ain't gonna kill myself. I can't do this. What if every single mother did that? What if everybody that came from nothing sat around and said, oh, I'm just going to sit over here and just not have nothing. I don't believe in myself. What if everybody did that? Then nobody would ever go anywhere in life. Another thing in the Black community is that Black people have slave teaching. I'm going to say it late but straight. You assume that when your children don't go along with some social constructed program, that they're going to be losers. And this is a mind game that has been played on many of you. So, for example, my parents have no faith in me. My father does, but my mother doesn't. She does too, to be honest with you, but she fronts. If you are a child that dropped out of school, I guess kind of like Kanye West, then some of these parents out here, they just all of a sudden they have no hope for their child. So they assume, oh, you're just going to be a loser for the rest of your life if you did that one thing, even if you dropped out to work. I dropped out to work because my parents wasn't buying me sanitary napkins and clothes. Hell, I needed stuff. I dropped out of school to work. I had a job. And still, because of that dynamic of education, by the way, most entrepreneurs don't have a college degree. Most of them don't. Most of them don't. In fact, there are some people that go to college, they pay all that money, and you got to pay back. It's a debt. Sometimes college is just a debt. You do learn some things, though. Yes, I think college is important, but it's your individual path in life. So we got to stop assuming. We got to stop assuming that just because somebody gets pregnant as a teenager that they're not going to make it. You got to stop assuming that just because somebody married poor that they're just going to be poor the rest of their life. You got to stop assuming, because when you make those assumptions about other people, then you're making them about yourself, aren't you? Hold on, guys. I got to answer my shopper. Give me a second. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I had to talk to my shopper. You know, it's so deeply embedded in a lot of these men's brains that they even have a hard time eating the food that a woman bought or paid for. What the hell is that? If I invite you over for dinner, you should enjoy it. That's not a being appreciative at all. It's not. We've got a lot of people out here that depreciate. Depreciation is not a good energy. A word that you guys need to look up. What is depreciation? We all know that the older a woman get, also the more valuable she becomes. But for some reason, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's rooted in pedophilia or whatever. And also another thing, hell, my grandmother worked for the post office until she retired. She didn't even start her own business until she was in her 40s or 50s. She was making very good money doing hair. So a lot of them think, well, you know, you done got so old or whatever. It's like, how you gonna do anything? It's like, what the hell are you talking about, old? So it's a lot of stupid attitudes out there when it comes to the way people look at stuff. And see, women, I'll cut you loose. I'm a woman that will cut your ass loose. Especially if I'm standing like right there where I'm wanting to be, and you're sitting up here with this dead energy. That energy is dead anyway. That energy ain't even really existed. When has it ever existed? What has it done for anybody? Nothing. It's very, very sad. Okay, by the way, we got in the chat, hit the thumbs up. And I'm going to tell you something. I do have a lot of oppressive black men that came to my channel. I will put hexes on you. Okay, I know I've been very, very nice the past couple of weeks, but I will hex you if I see you as a problem. So if you are a black man that's running around here with a stank look on your face, mad and angry and sad, and you feel the need to experiment on me to make yourself feel like a man, you need to turn away. You need to turn away. Thank you, Isaac. You're a man too. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much. Hit the thumbs up, you guys. We got 8 in the chat. We only got 3 thumbs up. We must have a lot of patriarchal men in here. Why do patriarchal men chase after women that are not for you? Just go get you somebody that's unpatriarchal. Just go get you a patriarchal woman. This don't even have nothing to do with alpha or beta. If you are a patriarchal man, go get a patriarchal woman. You cannot create a patriarchal woman in me. I was already created. I'm already who I am. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. So if you need a patriarchal woman that is willing to, cower down and go, oh, I need you, I can't do anything without you, then go get one. What the fuck? Why do they harass and torment us? That's why that's why my business is so good. I welcome the patriarchy. You ain't gonna get no woman like me though, and you don't even want a woman like me. You want a woman, and to be honest with you, this is one of the reasons why I didn't even want to invite anybody over into this house, because men will sometimes they'll have Cinderella complex. It's like, well, first of all, okay, we know that the magical pumpkin existed, and then it was a prince, and the prince whisks Cinderella off into a palace. That fairy tale rarely exists. It's not a part of real life. And what is the woman going to do? Sit around for 5 months, be out in the streets, homeless, starving until you become a prince? Until you just so happen to become a prince with a bunch of money? She's supposed to wait on you? Why? That's stupid. For you to even expect a woman, and I've noticed men that are like that. They want to make you the type of woman that they want you to be. I'm sorry, I'll never be that woman. And if you disrespect me, I'll put a hex on you. And everybody will tell you how stupid you are. And then it'll take a couple of days for people telling you how silly you are for you to realize how silly you are. Especially with me, you got to be careful with a woman like me, because I came to Georgia to step up my lifestyle. I didn't come here to play background to some man's foreground. I didn't come here for that. So you have to respect the woman. If you don't have respect for women, go date men. A lot of times when men are like that towards women, they probably on the DL anyway. So go date a man then. You obviously have no understanding, or go date a patriarchal woman. She'll be perfect for you. She'll be willing to live down in the dumps until you fix things for her. That's what she'll be willing to do. You see what I'm saying? So, and I keep telling people, I don't have a need-based business. This business is not based upon my need. This business is based on what I can do for people. Then when you're doing something as simple as advertising, folks got an attitude. Why you advertising your business? Because this is how I make money. Well, why you doing that? I'm sorry, you're not in the right place. Like, what is wrong with you? And especially, look, a woman, I'm going to tell you something. I could have been married years ago. I didn't want to marry that man. I might as well have married my ex. Well, you can't force your marriage on somebody or force them to be what you want them to be. There's no spirituality except for fake ass Christianity that told you that, and look at where you at now. Codependent on a blue-eyed, blonde-haired deity, and you hate yourself for it. And it makes no sense because nobody forced you. Nobody's forcing you into that. Stop doing that to women. Women don't want to hear that. We don't want that kind of energy. Not a woman like me. Go and get a child. Go get a teenager. Not a teenager. Don't practice pedophilia. Go get you somebody real young, 21. That'll be perfect for you. She's great. She's confused and has no direction. And that would be perfect for your kind. Because then you can build on top of her head, build your own self-esteem, which makes no sense. That house of cards is going to come down. It always does. That's a house of cards. But go ahead and go and falsely develop your self-esteem as a man on somebody that's stupid and unseasoned. Go do that. And it'll be a house of cards that will fall down, but you'll learn. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's only a select few men that operate like that, or either it's an agenda. If a lot of you are dealing with patriarchy, if you have a patriarchal father, the way that my father looks at relationships when it comes to me, and I have to break free of that, is that it's almost like a man becomes your master. So no, you're not my master. You're my partner. You're my other half. You complete me. If you're doing things to break me as a woman, that's not completion. Get past that, and then we'll get along just fine, and then you'll be happy. And the way this is the way I roll. I ain't about to sit up here and get mad at you because you wasn't able to. I ain't even mad at my ex. I got over that years ago. I think when my children were between the ages of 1 and 3, I got over my ex and the fact that he did nothing for his children. I got over it quickly. Wasn't tripping off of it. Kept moving forward. It was a slow crawl. I was like a turtle for a while and the reason why is because I had plans. I enjoyed spending time with my children. They were very young. They were all in diapers. Look, everything happens for a reason, but do not ever undermine a woman's goals. And it's not a pipe dream. This is things that are manifesting right now. And if you do something for me as a man, don't do it out of pity. Do it because you want to. I don't need you to buy me nothing. I don't need you to do nothing for me. I don't need you to pay my bills. I can do that stuff on my own. And until I decide that you're good enough for me to where I will want to marry you, I will gladly do it on my own, and I won't ask you for a dime. To date, I have never asked a man for a dime to pay anything. I don't ask when I don't see it. Like, if we're having an argument and I tell you, hey, you ain't paying my bills, don't take that as me telling you to pay my bills. Take that as me reminding you that I don't need you. Is there a problem? Not for that. And then the fact that most black men, they have this fantasy about Cinderella. A lot of black men are programmed with Cinderella complex, to where you got to pick a woman up out of dust and cinder, and everything that she has to come from you, when in reality, everything that she has is coming from her. Why is there a problem with respecting that? Why is there a need to oppress the black woman on a consistent fucking basis? And then you'll say, oh, well, you're being too mannish. You're not being a woman. You know what? Then I tell you what, go and find somebody else that makes you feel like a man. But when you come back crying to me because the house of cards fell down once again, and then you realized it, but in the meantime, I'm not going to be mentally, physically, or spiritually affected by it ever again. Because men like to try to take you through highs and lows. First of all, I'm on a high that you ain't gonna never make me come down from. So stop doing it. Start being right. And if you doing it because you up to no good, then you gonna get your karma. When I made the announcement that I was finally moving, at least 2 or 3 black men came out in social media and told everybody I was being evicted. And that's not what happened. Remember when I told you that the landlord didn't have a case against me and that I was going to be victorious in court? All of these black men say, you gonna be homeless and your rent is only $50 a month and you a piece of shit and you're crap and you just bend over and look, and what happened? What happened in court? Not only did I have a Bombay judge, but the laws in Georgia are very strict against landlords. In fact, I didn't even have to pay the rent that I paid him. The judge was gonna credit my rent over here in Georgia if your landlord is not fixing stuff and it's a major thing. I don't care if it's your dishwasher, your sink ain't working, whatever it is that is interfering with your quiet enjoyment of the property, the judge is going to credit your rent. And if you accepted $5 in rent, that's not for that month. And he'll call city codes to your house. So your non-reality of running around here, my landlord was an idiot for what he did. He was dumb. It was dumb. I still ended up moving on the day that I put on the damn notice to vacate. The only difference is that the landlord tried to use the courts to try to do harm to me. These black men came out and she gonna be homeless. She getting put out of her house, y'all. Oh, where are you going? You don't even know where you going. No, you don't know where I'm going. And maybe I won't tell you. I can't stand men like that. I don't like your kind. Okay, fine. If you want to do something for a woman, fine. But does she have to give up her whole self? Well, I mean, what I can do for myself, I can do more for myself than what you can do for me. So why even handicap yourself like that? Why even do that? It's because it's a man thing, and it's not even a man thing. It has nothing to do with the divine masculine. You on some lower level, lower chakra stupidity. It's sad. It really is. I'm so happy and grateful to the universe and to Mother Earth that I am not codependent on any of these men, because most men are codependent on us, especially black men. In every way. Oh, I've got to down you and degrade you to feel better about myself as a man. Why? Why? Oh, I've got to try to stomp out your potential and say, oh, I don't believe in you. Well, guess what, buddy? If you don't believe in me and if you don't believe me, well, guess what? I believe in myself. And it shows up every fucking day in my bank account. So now what? This is the reason why I don't even discuss my bills with most men. Henri, get yourself together. Have a healthy disposition towards the woman. Don't no woman want to hear or need to hear that crap. Oh, it's a form of oppression and you're not fooling nobody. Why don't you do this and why don't you do that? Well, why don't I do what the fuck I want to do? So then you realize as a woman, well, as a man, you can help with a couple of different things, but that's not what he actually wants to do. Then you realize what a person's true colors are. Okay, I got it off my chest. That's all I had to say, you guys. That energy is not good. And all men like that, let me tell you something. You ain't doing nothing. You're not doing anything but pushing good women away from you. A good woman don't want nothing to do with you. And it's sad that in so sad the attitude towards them. The attitude, what you do ain't good enough. It's like, well, I got this and that. Well, that ain't good enough. Well, I'm moving next week. That ain't good enough. Move now. Why you didn't move last week? I have a blade over here and I will hold it up to your picture. I'm sorry, I can't deal with no energy like that. That is disgusting. Well, why you didn't move last week then? You didn't have nothing last week. How the hell do you know what I had last week? I can't stand it. And I'm ready to fight. And my spirits will destroy any man that does it. They'll destroy you over and over and over again. Not only that, a lot of men that are Christian, they feel like, well, women ain't supposed to, you ain't supposed to have that, you supposed to do that. And if you listen to a man your entire damn life, men that are like that, you'll never get anywhere. You'll never have the things that you want, and they'll sit and talk about you and laugh about it. Oh, well, she need me, and I said, well, B, you need to go work out, go to the gym, get yourself together, and I might do something for you. Cause and then that's when you say, bye, bye, loser. Then you'll complain of when women like me say things like this. Well, then stop doing it. I am not your damn experiment that you can do shit to. Women are not here for their purpose. Bette Midler was 100% correct about what she said about women, and they shut her up. She said the women are the slaves of the world. Men think they can use us for whatever purpose. Well, guess what? What if I cut you out of my life? And every man in my life, every man that comes into my life, I have already written out a cord cutting petition on you, every single one of you. I'll write it out just at the beginning, just in case I need to light it. In an emergency situation, I'll light it and be like, bye, cord is cut. I don't like your energy. Bye-bye now. So anyway, I'm cool with where I'm at now. I got a lot going on. Doesn't need to be, obviously everybody knows what's happening right now. No, I am not going to go off into the streets. Why would you ever think that? Like, that's just bizarre. And then when you realize that the complete opposite is happening, then you want to try to send energy to me to make that happen. What the hell? This is one of the reasons why Black women are so frustrated with Black men and we don't want you no more. This is one of the reasons why we cut you loose. This is one of the reasons why just last week I wrote out a petition saying that I would completely cut Black men completely out of my life. This is the reason why I did that. The white man done messed up our women. He done told women that, they can be something in life, or they could do something without us, and now ain't nobody gonna want us. You have low self-esteem, and you want the woman to have low self-esteem and low self-worth. And about 80 to 90% of Black men are like this. Please change. Stop going around in social media crying and cussing and screaming. Just know that's your problem. A woman has told you, several women have told you the same damn thing, and it ain't gonna never change. Because it's not a part of reality. It was a fantasy world that was created to make you look stupid. And they did a very good job of shutting you out of any kind of knowledge or strength. So then your strength becomes trying to kick somebody down. You do it all the time. I see Black men doing this in social media. Cut it out, or you'll get cut off for good. And if that's what you want, that's what you want. I'm going to tell you something. Once a woman's fed up, that's it. And yes, she does have the capability of running away in the middle of the night. She has all the money that she needs to run off in the middle of the night and go somewhere where you can't find her. And she doesn't have to tell you where she's at. We all do. We all do. We all have that capability. So either you're going to be a good partner and a good mate and stop being so negative, or you can take the door. The door can close behind you forever. All right, I gotta go, guys, because I've got my food arriving. I'm gonna be cooking dinner tonight, so I will see you guys later. I'm just giving y'all tough love. If y'all don't like it, if you don't support it, then why are you here? Why would you be here? Is it because somebody told you something different? That's exactly what's happening over here. I don't care if we had sex for 3 hours or you know, or whatever. Personally, men like that ain't even good in bed. That energy is disgusting. Don't nobody want that. Nobody wants that. Okay, so be a better lover, be a better friend, be a better confidant, be a better person, be more loyal, be more respectful, show some respect. I don't care if it was a woman that just came off of welfare. What, you think you don't have to respect her? Hell, it's a lot of women that had to get on welfare and food stamps because of these men that they had in their life that wasn't about nothing. So is that supposed to map out the rest of their life? No. We're all about growth and change. If you are not about that life, then you can go. Okay? Seriously, with all due respect and love for the divine masculine. I'll see you guys later. Okay? Time for me to cook and eat dinner. I'm hungry. I am starving. I'll see y'all later. Love and light.